Find your mouthpiece and put on your jock straps. It's the Sports Blitz with Doug and Robbie.
Okay, how long is your show?
You guys have such a great setup.
Hey, listen, if you're under a rock or if you're in a cave, come on out and listen to our episode.
It was fun talking baseball. I love talking Red Sox. I love talking coaching.
I don't care because I would rather there not be an MLB season than have to sit and watch the colossal embarrassment.
Hey, hello, I am Bloom. Yeah, it's Doug and Robbie from the Sports Blitz. I just wanted to find out whether you need some pitching.
There you go. In 5, 4, 3.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode number 93 of the Sports Blitz, and hope everybody is doing well on this Thursday night. And as always, I am Robbie. Doug is here as well. He's up there. You can't see what I'm looking at, but he is up there. I promise you that. Doug, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well, Robbie. Doing really well. Looking forward to this episode. And if anybody does not know what we're talking about, then I don't know. I'm going to give a little hint. I'm going to give a small little hint.
If you don't know, a little bit of a giveaway there. Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about today, you probably are literally living under a rock or in a cave. In which case, come on out, give us a listen, then you can go right back in if you so choose. But it is great to be here. Like I said, as always, again, episode number 93. We're closing in on 100, Doug. The countdown is on.
That's right. We're looking for subs, man. We're looking for subs.
Yeah.
Looking for people to come on and tell us what they want to hear.
Man. Ring that bell.
We're gonna have a special 100th episode. We're gonna have all kinds of guests and maybe David Letterman, Jay Leno.
Barack Obama might even jump on the show. Who knows?
We don't know. I know he's a fan. We may even have Jeff Bascio on. Jeff Bascio from New York, who, by the way, I want to do a shout out to Jeff. Jeff watches every single episode that we do. So he just told me, I just talked to him yesterday. He does every single episode. He watches every single episode. It's so good to have Jeff watching there and have him as a sub. And well, I'm hoping to have him on to give us the New York take on. Sorry, the New York take on sports.
You said that with a straight face.
No, I can't. It's hard.
Hey, listen. I mean, Jeff, we really appreciate you watching and listening, but the Rangers still suck. So anyway, but speaking of speaking into this episode, so to speak, before we get into the crux of this episode, Doug, we do have, as always, our lovely sponsor for a lot of the episodes, including episode number 93. So why don't you tell us a little bit about tonight's sponsor?
Yes, tonight's sponsor is Zyman Organizing. Is sponsoring the Sports Blitz as usual. She's been our sponsor for a while now.
Yeah.
And if you're ever feeling overwhelmed with a room or closet or a drawer or just something that needs to be organized, Zyman Organizing, they will create and organize a space that you will love and it will be serene and a joy to spend time with. Just remember, Zyman Organizing, creating a stress-free home. We're going to have will be in the description.
Yep.
A link
in the description.
A link in the description.
Always,
so absolutely, just give them a buzz and they'll be able to help you out.
Absolutely. Always appreciative of Zyman Organizing, the work that they do, and sponsoring this episode. Very grateful, as always, again, to Zyman Organizing. So, getting into tonight's episode, as Doug sort of teased there a couple minutes ago, there was a lot of big news on the sports front this week, and in particular with one particular team around this area. That would be the good old New England Patriots. Yes, a lot of moves being made as the countdown to the regular season races on here. We are now literally just over a week till the season opener against the Dolphins, again coming up September 12th in Foxborough. I believe it's in Foxborough. Right now it's not in Miami. Or are they in Miami? I don't remember.
That's a great question.
That's a great question. I don't know the. Hold on, we got
so not prepared for
Yeah.
that question.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I'm prepared for everything else but that. So yeah, so I think
I believe it's in Fox.
I thought it was in Foxborough, but it's possible that they're
All
away.
right, hold on. It is in Foxborough. Yep, Sunday, September 12th at 4:25. Boy, we're off to a great start.
Excellent.
Tonight's episode, but
yeah, we know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, the Patriots made a lot of news this week, especially in one particular day, just 48 hours ago, and obviously the biggest news coming out of the Patriots this week, as I said, as they finalized the roster, getting set for the beginning of the season, was that the Patriots have parted ways with one Cam Newton. That's right, folks. Tuesday morning, news broke, much to the shock and stunning of many in both Boston sports media and Boston sports fan base, that Cam Newton is no longer a member of the New England Patriots, and that means obviously that good old Mac Jones, the 15th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, 22 years young, out of Alabama, will be the starting quarterback for the Patriots to begin this 2021 season. So, Doug, getting right into it here, I wanted to ask you just because I know I texted you pretty much, I think, seconds after finding out the news myself when this happened. Just give us your initial reactions, just thoughts on hearing the news that Cam Newton, the one who was everybody thought was going to be the starter in 2021, and that's the whole reason. Everybody thought that's what the whole reason why they brought him back, and nobody thought Bill would cut him before the season started. So, but he did. So, just curious to know your initial reaction and take to the news of Cam Newton no longer being a member of the Patriots.
Well, my initial reaction was actually kind of twofold. There were several things that happened, before cut day, that happened with Cam. Something about some protocols, something about, him not getting the right test. There is speculation, well, more than speculation, but I think there's speculation out there that he is not vaccinated.
So, I don't think that's really speculation at this point.
Well, it's actually really not, but I don't know for sure. And if you think about it, it's actually breaking HIPAA regulations. I would like to know, but it's actually, it's a medical thing. So as far as I'm concerned, so he never actually said that he wasn't, but we're speculating. It's speculation, and there's a reason why there's speculation, because there's been, he did get COVID last year, but then he was like in this COVID fog or whatever, and that's why he couldn't play very well. And so my initial reaction was a little bit of shock. I think about 20% shock, and then 80% of, oh, well, that totally makes sense. So it was kind of weird. It was kind of like a half a punch in the gut a little bit. It's like you got like a little tiny squinge of pain, but you were like, oh, that wasn't really that bad. I mean, that was my initial. Now, I'll tell you, Robbie, I thought up until the last game with the Giants, I thought, yeah, that's what Bill's going to do. He's going to start this guy. He seems to be playing fairly well, and he actually did play fairly well during the preseason. I have some numbers here too.
The Eagles game especially, he looked really sharp.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, a lot sharper than he's been.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, and of course, Bill just said just either today or yesterday, he said this has nothing to do with COVID.
Right.
Okay, so
Typical
Urban Meyer in LA said, "Well, I cut everybody that had COVID." So
You mean Jacksonville?
Jacksonville. I'm sorry. Yes, Jacksonville. I'm sorry. Did I say LA or Jacksonville? I
Yeah,
said LA.
LA.
I'm sorry. I got
Two different states, two different
totally different
time
areas.
zones. Yeah,
Right. That's what I meant.
It's all good.
Urban.
Though.
I got the guy's name right, so I guess I get
You did,
50% credit.
Maybe
So
25, but it's all right.
thanks. I get the name right, and he still gives me 25. Thanks. So I think what it comes down to is that, yeah, I mean, I was shocked, I guess, initially, but it was kind of like taking blood, that initial you know uh, that initial pinprick is kind of, there's a little twinge of pain, and then all of a sudden it's like, are you done? Did you do it? Are you done yet? That's kind of how I felt. I wasn't maybe as shocked as other people were. I know that a lot of the sports world wasn't shocked. I don't think. I mean, it blew up Twitter. It blew up Twitter for a while.
It could have been, you probably could make the argument that it was about 50-50. I mean, a lot of what I was seeing was sort of people, I think maybe I think you're onto something there, that it may be like in that moment, like that momentary shock of like, whoa, like what happened?
Right.
And then as you sort of let the dust settle a little bit, then you're like, well, actually, maybe that makes more sense than I was giving it credit for, so to speak. So
and then you look at the numbers and you say, oh, okay, now it makes sense because I got all the numbers. So
he's
I
a
mean,
numbers guy, man. He's a numbers guy.
no, I just did, just out there trying to do a little research, so we kind of sound a little professional in here. So no, that's all. I wanted to know too, because I didn't.
Please, nobody, I don't think anybody ever accuses me of sounding professional on these podcasts. So there you go.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. But I think what I'm saying is that this, I didn't realize. And they break it down really, really well. Actually, CBS Sports broke it down super well.
Yeah.
Where I'm talking, passing yards and touchdown passes and passer rating and Pro Football Focus grade and completions in preseason. I mean, they really break it down really super well. So, and we'll get to those in a few minutes, but it really does make sense. What CBS did is took all the top quarterbacks, the new top quarterbacks,
the
rookie quarterbacks, and basically 1 through 5, Mac is in there, and then just went through all of those things and put them in order. It was phenomenal. And when I was looking at this, I was like, oh, okay, I didn't realize that. Because when you look at the numbers, because that's what Bill was basing this on. You look at the numbers.
It's all a numbers game.
Mac Jones is from what I'm looking at, way ahead of the game.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, and I think that's the thing is that and again, I'll be honest, I did not watch a ton of preseason football, but from what I did watch and from sort of listening to the commentators out there, I mean, Mac had a very good showing of himself, whether it be in practice or whether it be in the preseason games themselves. And so I think a lot of people, even before this news, even though a lot of people I think still felt up until the last minute that Cam was going to be the guy, so to speak, I think a lot of people are like, well, wait a minute, Mac is no slouch either. And just watching the way he performed, like I said, both in practice and in the games. And I think there is something also to be said, Doug, for the fact that, if Cam missing some time due to the COVID protocol issue, he had to sit out 5 days, here and there for that issue. It sort of gave Mac a chance, especially with it being kind of, the home stretch of the preseason. It gave Mac a chance to really be in there and be getting the predominance of the first team reps and really be getting into the system and really showing what he can do. And so that definitely was a good thing for Mac there to be able to really up his game and burst onto the scene and say, hey, listen, I could do this.
Yeah, that was huge for him, Robbie, because he got a chance to get all the reps.
Yeah.
He got a chance to do this in 5 days because he was out for 5 days.
Right.
And he got a chance to really be number one out there, and everybody watching him and seeing what kind of reps he could do and seeing what he can do here and what he can do there. I think he really upped his value during those 5 days. And let me ask you a question, and I wanted to ask you this too. Do you think, and Bill didn't say that this was a decision making, but there's some other speculation that's out there. Do you? And we've also talked about it too off air. Do you think that some of this decision was based on the fact that Cam isn't vaccinated, and if he's not vaccinated, it could be a big game coming up, a game that we need to win, and all of a sudden he goes through protocols. He gets, he does a protocol wrong, or he does this, and he's got 5. He could be out between 5 and 10 days.
Yeah.
Now that's with everybody. That's what anybody that gets COVID is going to be out for 10-day period anyway. But if you're unvaxxed, you have a little bit more of a situation there. So
hold on 1 second. Sorry, folks.
Okay, it's Robbie. It's me. Robbie is now taking a little break and finding out. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Sorry, had a momentary interruption there. I'm good. I'm good now.
No worries. I took over for a couple minutes and just started ragging on you. So anyway, so I wanted to ask you, do you think even 10% of this decision was the fact that Bill didn't want to deal with this for a whole season?
Yeah, I don't think,
even if he doesn't say it,
right. And that's the thing, is that I don't believe that Bill is ever going to tell us, for sure what his reasons are. I mean, that's just not what.
Well, he doesn't tell us anything anyway.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's not what
Bill Belichick
does.
Thing. Yeah. No, I
get
it.
I mean, I would not be surprised if it did have something to do with it. If we're being honest here, I mean, it's tough because, you obviously, again, Bill's not going to give anything away, so we're basically just speculating at this point. But yeah, I mean, I think just looking at the protocols and looking at the fact, well, if you're vaccinated and, even if you're being a close contact, to somebody who has tested positive, the protocols are a lot different. Looking at what the NFL is doing, the protocols are a lot different for those who are vaxxed versus unvaccinated. And I think the thing about it is that why it's almost like, do you want to take the chance? Like you were saying, all of a sudden, it's heading into week 17, you need to win to make the playoffs, and Cam all of a sudden, has to enter protocols, midway through the week, and then is out. All of a sudden, then you got to throw Mac Jones in there for a very important game. Like, is it worth the risk? It's it's a good question. Like I said, I would not be surprised if that even in the slightly factored in to the decision making, but at the same time, you don't know for sure, because Bill will never tell you.
Yeah, he's also not going to say anything because he knows he may get in trouble from the league. Because
look at what happened. We were talking about Urban Meyer earlier. I mean, now the NFLPA is launching an investigation into his comments. And by the way, I'll be honest. I don't necessarily have a problem with his comments because I think a lot of the other teams, even if they're not saying it, are kind of looking at things the same way that Urban Meyer is. I mean, I think you'd be hard pressed to find a team or many teams that weren't at least somewhat taking that whole issue into consideration when it comes to keeping or bringing on players. So I think that I think it definitely was a factor, and I think Mac, I think it played a factor in the sense of them maybe not necessarily wanting the risk, but I also think obviously if Cam was far and above the best quarterback on the roster, then I don't think it makes the decision, so to speak, for whether or not he stays or if he goes. But I think the fact that Mac was able to sort of step in and come on and really start to prove himself quickly, I think made the case or made it possible for Bill to say, maybe we should go in a different direction here when it comes to Cam. So I just think I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that Mac played pretty damn well in the preseason and in practice, and made it possible that Bill could say, like I said, that it's time to move on here from good old Cam Newton. So
Yeah, I do agree with that, and I know that Bill's obviously not going to say anything because he doesn't want to be investigated. He needs another investigation. We'll call it COVID Gate. I don't know what you call it. But it's one of those things where he's not going to say anything.
right.
But if you look at the numbers, it's not like he's.
I want to hear the numbers, Doug.
It's not like he's lying.
Numbers.
It's unbelievable. It's like Bill couldn't have written this any better. So let me just tell you. Let me give you the stats for the last preseason game.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
New England against the Giants, which again didn't mean anything. But okay, here we go. We're talking. Cam Newton was 2 for 5. He had 10 yards.
Yeah. Ugh.
He had no touchdowns and 1 interception.
Yeah.
Mac Jones was 10 for 14, 156 yards.
Wow.
1 touchdown, 0 interceptions.
Pretty big difference there.
Yeah,
big difference.
But again, that's just last game.
Right.
And preseason is erased as of now. So those numbers don't make any sense. Those numbers don't mean anything now because it's gone.
Right.
But you got to see some of these numbers, man. These numbers are incredible. So I looked this up, and CBS Sports had this great thing. And I wrote down pretty much everything. So we're talking about the 5 top quarterbacks. Talking about Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Zach Wilson. Okay? Top 5. So, completions in preseason. Okay? So we're going to number them who had the most to the least on that. We're going to go with number 1 is Mac Jones with 36 completions. Number 2, Trevor Lawrence with 31 completions. Justin Fields with 30. Trey Lance, 19, and Zach Wilson, 15. So guess what? Mac Jones wins that. That's a winner.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Here's a good one here. Here's a good one here, which isn't bad at all for Mac Jones at all. But this is completion percentage. We have Zach Wilson at number 1 with 75%. He was 15 out of 20. Trevor Lawrence was number 2 at 70.5%. He was 31 for 44. Mac Jones is number 3.
Wow. With
69.2%. That's 36 out of 52. Justin Fields was 61.2% at 30 for 49. And Trey Lance, 46.3%, 19 for 41, which is actually not really that great, actually.
No, I mean,
think about it,
Mac's numbers are, I mean, from just hearing them from you just now, I mean, Mac's numbers in their own right are very impressive. And I think, like I said, when you sort of combine that with everything else sort of going on behind the scenes with Cam, that's why, it makes sense. When you say it was sort of the idea that, well, people were stunned when you start to sort of take a step back and like sort of think about everything, uh, it actually makes more sense that they made the move than it may have initially.
Yeah,
That
and
for
again,
sure.
I never knew these numbers until I looked them up today. I never knew these numbers. The numbers that I'm about to tell you are numbers that I was super surprised about because I didn't really know these numbers, and these numbers are huge. Passing yards, all those quarterbacks I just said, 1 through 5. Mac Jones, number 1 with 388 yards. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence had 323. Trey Lance had 276. He was tied with Justin Fields with the same number. And Zach Wilson, 191.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
So Mac Jones was ahead in one category, at least, of Trevor Lawrence. I mean, that's
Two.
two categories with Trevor Lawrence, who was the number one pick in the draft. So I mean,
completions.
like,
That's right. That's right. Now the passing rating is actually really good too. Zach Wilson, unbelievably, Zach Wilson, who had the lowest percentage at 46%, he had a passer rating of 137.7. Trevor Lawrence had 106.5. Mac Jones is third with 97.3. Justin Fields and Trey Lance have one's 90.2 and Trey Lance had 83.0.
right. Wow.
Now the completion percentage ratings for Cam Newton versus Mac. Okay. So Cam Newton had 66% completion rating all preseason, all 4 games. Mac had good awareness, found his receivers in good spots, and found his spots right. So Cam had 66%, Mac had 69.2 for the preseason. So we're starting to feel a little something here. So this is the last one I have. This is Pro Football Focus grade. They grade them from 1 to 5, all 5, in all the categories that I just mentioned. I didn't mention one of them, which was touchdown passes, which doesn't really matter. Mac Jones had 1, but the others had either 2. I think Trevor Lawrence had 3. No, I'm sorry. Trey Lance had 3. Trevor Lawrence only had 2. So they didn't have a lot of touchdown passes anyway. But still, this is Pro Football Focus. This is the grade of all those stats that I just told you. These are the grades from 1 to 5. I'm going to go 5 to 1. I'm going to go worst to best.
Right.
Number 5, Trey Lance with 56.7. Number 4, Justin Fields, 67.6. Trevor Lawrence is third with 78.3. Number 2, Zach Wilson, 85.7.
Wow.
Number 1, Mac Jones, 92.2.
Wow. That's that's
So,
all I can really say.
From
Wow.
all the stats I just told you, Robbie. Yeah, so from all the stats I just told you, from the Pats' perspective, the rookie out of Alabama, who was questioned on draft day about his athleticism, but he's also shown during preseason that he can at least hang with the rest of the first round rookie class.
Yeah. Oh, he definitely is hanging with them.
Big time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the numbers don't lie. And I'm not a big stats guy, but I really wanted to look this up. And as I was writing them down, I was like, holy crap. I mean, did I miss something during these games? I was like, what the hell happened? because you're really watching. It's preseason. They're not really, they're
I mean,
playing, but they're not playing hard. And
I'll be honest, like I said, I wasn't paying, that close attention to the preseason games.
I wasn't either. I wasn't either that
I think
much.
a couple of times, I think we were actually filming episodes during preseason games, so we
Yes,
definitely
actually, I think we were.
Yeah.
I think we actually were. There was at least one game that I knew of that was actually
Yeah.
going on while we were playing, while we were recording. But
Yeah.
I think what it comes down to is when you look at these numbers, you're saying, "How?" The question that I have to you, Robbie, did Bill make a mistake?
Yeah, it's harder and harder to when you hear all those numbers. It's harder and harder to make the argument that he didn't, that he did make a mistake. And
I mean, Jermaine Wiggins says, "Oh, he made a mistake. Should have kept Cam. Should have had Cam out there for a little while, and then
I don't know.
If he was doing
like
terrible, then put him in."
Like I said, hearing all those numbers and even just seeing the product on the field where Cam again didn't sort of blow away Mac by any means, either on the practice field or on the game field. I cannot say that Bill made a mistake. I really can't.
Not with those numbers, you can't.
No, not with that evidence. I don't see how you could say he made a mistake in this situation. So
yeah.
I think it was more just, I think I had sort of accepted / sort of bought into the whole idea that, just Cam was going to be the guy. I've been saying since they brought Cam back that I had kind of resigned myself in a sense to the fact that Cam was going to be the guy. And then all of a sudden to see that Cam was let go before the season even starts, it was just like, whoa, like what is going on? But all of this, when you sort of put it like that, when you sort of lay out the evidence like you just did, it makes a lot more sense for sure. And I could definitely see just on that front alone why Bill would be more inclined to make that decision at quarterback. So
yeah, I mean, was I surprised that he got rid of Cam? Yeah, I think I did, but now Cam's saying, "Oh, I'll play backup on another team because he wants to play." So or not play. So I mean, he wants to be on a team. So I mean, I totally understand. I get it, but it's like there was no way that they could have kept him. They probably could have kept him as a backup. But why did they do that instead of just waiving him? Getting rid of him totally.
I don't know.
They did it because they knew. They did it because they knew that there was no way he was going to play backup. He wants to be the starter. He's he was MVP. What, 2015?
Yeah.
When he was.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, why would he do that? I mean, I get it. I understand, but I mean, I think this was a chance. I think what broke them, and again, this is just my thought, my feeling. I think what broke them was the COVID protocol.
Yeah.
He knows what the protocols are. He knows where to get the right test. Don't understand. They just
that whole thing was just very sketchy and weird. Like
it really was.
Yeah, it really have a lot of questions about what happened there.
It was,
sure.
but some of there was Tom. I believe it was Tommy Curran who said that it wasn't that it was sketchy. It was that the Patriots were pissed.
Yeah,
they were really super pissed about this,
and I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
Right, exactly. So I think that may have been the. And then looking at the numbers, they were like, okay, well, we're just done.
Well, it's interesting.
This is a way of getting rid of them too.
Well, it's interesting because it's interesting because everybody on the sort of surface was like, oh, Cam's Bill's guy, and like Bill just has this thing for Cam, and that's why he never get rid of him. Well, it seems behind the scenes, it seems like he was not as much of Bill's guy as people thought he was. For sure.
Up until the end of the Giants game, Bill was like, "Yeah, Bill was asked a question, and Bill actually said, "Yeah, Cam's made some strides this preseason."
Well, Bill kept saying Cam's our quarterback until very late in the preseason when all of a sudden it's like, well, we're not sure, blah, 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 blah. And then you're like, well,
Yep.
Interesting. But
yeah, so that's why it was a little bit, that's why you probably had 10, 20% of surprise, because
yeah,
Bill had been saying how much better he was this year and how he was hitting his strides and doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Right.
And up until the Giants game, and you thought, okay, well, but maybe he'll play him for a few games, maybe 5 or 6 games, and then they'll bring Mac in or whatever, or they'll bring Mac in during a time where they're blowing him out, they're blowing another team out. But that's why it was a little bit of a surprise when you hear, oh, well, wait a minute, what happened? Oh, okay. I guess we're starting the Mac Jones era a little bit earlier than we expected.
Well, and I think that's kind of how I want to segue into the next point, Doug, is, again, the Mac Jones era has now begun in Foxborough. Whether we expected it or not, it is here in full bore. So we need to kind of just accept it, even if we didn't expect it. But what I wanted to ask you is when we look at, and after this, I want to kind of get into some of the other little Patriots news, but I wanted to ask you, sort of topping off the whole Cam Mac part of the conversation, is does Mac being the starting quarterback now change at all, and if so, in what way, your expectations for the 2021 Patriots?
The only way it changes my expectations, and again, seeing these numbers and looking over some, just some highlights of him on YouTube and stuff like that, it actually changes my perspective in a positive way, I think. A little bit more on the positive side than anything else. Knowing that there are his teammates now who are sticking up for him, who are basically saying, oh, Kendrick Bourne just came out today and said, this guy's ready.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about this guy. This guy is the steal. This guy is, number one, ready. He's prepared. He knows what he's doing. He's got a football mind. And he was just over the top. Now, is he going to say anything bad about his quarterback? Of course not. But the fact is that having some people come out and saying these things is super, super important.
Yeah.
Because Rodney Harrison came out even a while back. I think it was before the preseason. He came out and said he thinks Mac Jones is going to be incredible. So it's he wants Mac Jones to play over Cam. So it's one of those things where this kid has an amazing amount of support, not just from past Patriots, but from his teammates.
Yeah.
As long as he gets that, he'll be fine. He'll be more than fine. Now, on the flip side of what I just said, we got to understand
he's a rookie.
And you betcha.
And yes, preseason, going up against defenses in preseason is a lot different than going up against them in the regular season.
Yeah, you're going half. You go in half, and you're not going full because you don't want to get hurt.
Right.
So, and I get that. So when I think of that, I think of one of Brady's games, the first that first real rookie year. I can't remember what team it was. It was the game after Bledsoe got hurt. I can't remember. He got killed. There was a team that absolutely, and I'll look it up. I'm going to try to get that. If anybody knows what that team is, please put it in the notes, in the comment section, because I just can't remember it off the top of my head. I got so many numbers in my head now, so I can't remember it. But and Robbie's of course going to look it up. But I think what it comes down to is that we have to remember that he's a rookie. He's going to make his mistakes.
Oh yeah.
He's going to do things that you go, oh, jeez, why did he do that?
His first start was against the Colts.
Okay. I'm just saying there was a game there that year or the year after, and he absolutely got his ass handed to him. It was a blowout.
Yeah,
And again, that's going to happen. But
Yeah.
but again, look, I'm not saying he's Brady. I'm not saying
Right.
that. I'm just saying he's a rookie. We have to give him the fact that he is a rookie. But on the other side of that, he's ready.
Yeah.
The numbers say he's ready.
Yeah.
And again, I know preseason's different, but I think, and just like you and I talk about this all the time, hey, the Celtics are going to be fun to watch. The Bruins going to be fun to watch. The Patriots, I think they're actually going to be fun to watch.
It's going to be nice to actually have a core. I will say this in Mac's sort of column here is it's going to be nice to watch a quarterback that I'm not constantly like grimacing every time he tries to throw a football. Whereas with Cam, like watching him throw a football is like, oh God, like what is?
Yeah, you have to go like this.
Yeah, like what is he doing? But Matt can actually like consistently throw a football, which is definitely a good thing to have in this league. So yeah, I agree with you. And listen, I sort of was thinking about this team expectation wise of sort of maybe even a 9 to 10 win team, sort of at the top end of things. I could still see that happening, even with Mac in there. And I think you're right. I think you might even sort of look at things a little bit more positively, expectations wise, with Mac than maybe you would with Cam in certain areas. Like I said, throwing the football being one of the big ones. So it's going to be a very interesting season, but I think you're right. I think compared to last year, it's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a lot funner to watch, and it's very exciting. The intrigue of what's Mac going to do definitely makes the hype for the beginning of the season even that much more palatable, palpable, I should say.
Yeah, definitely.
As we are just like I said, just over a week out here.
Yeah, no,
definitely.
of it. No, definitely. I actually have to. For those of you who are watching this who have Madden, the new Madden, I actually have to change some stuff. I wait till after the draft, and I'm not to draft, right? Sure, draft. No, I wait till after. Wait till after the cuts,
right?
Because then there are people on there that, and if you know Madden at all, if you play the video game Madden, Madden 22, which just came out, you know that there's no like pup list. You're either on the team or you're not on the team.
Yeah.
So there's no reserve list. There's nothing. So you're either on there or you're not on there. I'm not sure how many you can carry. I think you can carry just 53, but I wait until that. So I have got to move some moves to make actually on my Madden 22.
Yeah.
So anybody that's out there that comment on what you think of Madden this year so far, kind of looks like the same game as last year, but there's some different stuff. But I would love to hear your comments about the new new Madden 22.
Yeah, no, definitely for sure, and and that's sort of it's sort of a good segue into the other sort of part of it I want to talk about, and that is that it actually we talked about the offense, so to speak, just now with Cam and Mac and stuff like that, but there was some news on the defensive front for the Patriots that came out actually literally the same day as the Cam Newton news, and that is that a good old Stephon Gilmore is going to miss up to the first 6 games of the season after being put on the PUP list due to his nagging injury that he has. I can honestly say that I was surprised about the Cam news, and I can honestly say that I was not as surprised about the Stephon Gilmore news. But I wanted to get also your take and reaction, Doug, to the news that Stephon Gilmore, for many years considered top cornerback in the NFL, certainly top cornerback on the Patriots, out at least the first 6 weeks due to a bit of a nagging injury there.
Yeah, it didn't really surprise me that much. I think what they'd like to do is, I don't think he could be traded if he's injured.
Right.
That would be really hard to do because I don't think anybody would.
And you wonder how much. You wonder how
him.
much value he's lost anyway, just
Right.
given the injury stuff, and also what's sort of gone on with him behind the scenes as well. I know there's been some contract difficulties and the injury stuff and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
a lot of things working against Stefan Gilmore's value right now.
Yes, and that of course is always an issue, and he's still. I think he's still a viable. I think he's still a viable corner if he were to stay, or if he were to. I think he could still be traded, and I think Bill could probably get a little something for him. But
right.
if he really wants to do that, it just depends on. It depends on what his value is after the 6th game.
Yeah,
he's got to wait now.
Yeah, exactly.
So actually, Bill actually did this, and it's actually toward Bill's. I mean, this is good for Stefan Gilmore because he's not out there showing himself to other people.
Yeah,
this is bad for him. This is a bad thing for him. But again, if it's nagging and if it's whatever, then as soon as he gets better and gets out there, does Bill trade him? I don't know. He may want to, because you're not going to give him what he wants.
No. And
Bill doesn't do that stuff. He's always got somebody waiting in the wings. And there was a little thought process in the last day or so that there's somebody out there that's already on a team that actually can take over for Gilmore if he eventually.
Well, that's the other thing.
And we'll probably see him too.
Yeah, so that's the other part of it that I wanted to ask you. Is obviously, like I said, and I agree with you. I was not surprised, like I said, that Stefan Gilmore, that they went that route with him, placing him on the PUP list and having him miss the first part of the season. But what I wanted to ask you, sort of in relation to that, is how do you think that Gilmore's absence and the fact that Gilmore will be out for the first, over a quarter of the season, how will that impact, if at all, the Pats defense? And does it hurt it for the worse? Does it make it better, or is it kind of the same expectations defensively than it was if he had been out there?
I think we have a much better defense this year, period.
Yeah.
We have Judon. We have Cowart, Byron Cowart, who's actually on the PUP list also, but a pretty good player. Barmore. He's also from. He's a rookie, but he's also. I think we've upped our defense. We have. I think if anybody could take over, maybe it's J.C. Jackson, who's really proved himself last year, who's done exceptionally well back there. Back in the corner safety kind of position. I don't think the defense is going to be worse. I think it's actually going to be better. Whether Stephon Gilmore's in there or not, I think this being on the PUP list for 6 games is going to hurt him. Going to hurt his value.
Oh, yeah.
Do I think Bill can still get something for him? Yeah. Once he comes out and he's fine and he can play.
Hello? Bye. Did I lose Doug? What is happening? Hello? Well, for some reason, I can't explain. For some reason, wait, hold
negotiate.
on. Oh, Doug's back. I'm back. All right, that was weird. I don't know what just happened there, but a little bit of technical difficulties, but I'm back.
Rosane.
Hold on. There we go. Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
Okay, yeah, sorry, folks. We had a little bit of technical difficulties there. I don't know exactly
No
what's
worries.
going to happen with
Everybody's
this
on Zoom right
clip.
now, so that's okay.
I don't know what's going to happen with this clip, but we're at least for the time being, we are still here. So anyway, I don't
It's all
know.
good, man. It's all good. No worries.
So anyway, Doug, what were you saying before we
No,
got
and I
rudely
kept going
interrupted?
because it kept recording, so you'll probably
Okay,
see it there. But
okay, good.
yeah, I just kept going. I was like, okay, Robbie's frozen. I'm just going to keep going. So basically, what I was saying is I didn't think the defense was going to be that hurt in the next 6 games because we have other people to be able to take over it, kind of in that position. So JC Jackson is one that I'm very high on. He's just been doing phenomenally. He's just been great. He was great last year. And I think that, that we got a couple of guys out there. And I think that Bill shored up the defense. And I think the defense is going to be better. I think we're going to look at the defense and go, whoa, wait a minute, what just happened?
Yeah. No,
So,
I agree. I agree with you.
and I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but I am also very high on the offensive line too. We shored that up big time. We got some guys coming back. Andrews, big number 77. 77?
Yeah.
It's on the right side? Yeah, it's on the right side. He towers over everybody else. Oh, man, I love him. Nobody can get by him. He's great. He's a little older, but he's great. I think we shored up the offensive line, too, and that's going to help Mac out, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not that he can't run, because he can, but, he's just, he has already proven in preseason that he can actually, step into the pocket, go past the defense and be able to throw the ball. So yeah,
No,
so I don't think the defense is going to be. How about you, Robbie? Do you think the defense is going to be any different than
I think
if not better?
I agree with you. I think the defense was going to be better already this season. And I wasn't even really factoring in Gilmore a whole lot to begin with, just because of sort of the stuff that's been going on with him, through camp and through the off season and stuff like that. So, I think the fact of the matter is, I think you're right. I think the defense is going to be a lot better this year, which I think helps like I said, the expectations for this team as they look to sort of get back to, winning record and possibly, maybe even competing for a playoff berth after, the disappointment that was last season.
Right.
So no,
Yeah.
but listen, I completely agree with you. And I'm just very excited for the season. I think, sort of to sum it all up, I'm very excited for the season. I can't wait for a week from Sunday for them to get out there against Miami at home with fans in the stands. I think it's gonna be
That'll help too.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch, as you were talking about. I think that's, for me, when I sort of look ahead to this 2021 Pats season, I think that really sums it up for me, is the fact that it's going to be a lot of fun this year, and I can't wait to sort of go through it and see what comes out the other end.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what comes out the other end?
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
I'm just, I don't know. I just got a little thing in my head for a second.
I really regretted it when I said it. So let's just go right on by.
It's one of those things where you were like, I wonder if he heard that. Did he hear that? Did they
hear that?
No, they didn't hear that. No, I'm bringing it up.
As soon as I came out of my mouth, I was like, oh, geez.
I know. No, that's okay. It happened. So what I equate this season to, this exciting season is that this kind of, and I'm not saying that he's going to be Brady, or he is Brady, or he's going to play like Brady.
I don't think anybody can beat Brady.
No, but what I'm saying is that, remember Brady's actual first year. You were saying to yourself, I can't wait to see this guy.
Yeah.
Cannot wait. Drew's out. Bill says Brady's in. Brady's our quarterback.
And then look at what Brady did. I mean, look at just as game after game after game. It's like, holy
exactly.
crap,
So it's that same excitement to see somebody
the unknown
new,
to the unknown,
and to see somebody that could be our quarterback for the future.
Yeah.
Right here,
Oh, yeah.
right then and there. We're seeing it. We're seeing it live.
Yeah.
And not
Well, do it
Memorex. It's
live,
live.
man. Do it live.
Seeing it live, man. That's right. So
Yeah.
it should be interesting.
Should be very interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I'm very excited about this Pats season. I think they've upgraded in a lot of areas, both offensively and defensively, as we've talked about, all the moves they've made this offseason. And, there's a bit of intrigue now with Mac officially taking over the reins as starting quarterback. And
Yeah, actually, at one point, Mac was like the only quarterback on the team.
I know, right? That was the funniest sort of final thing to know.
It was great.
First, all of a sudden they released Hoyer, and you're like, wait a minute, we don't have a quarterback at the moment.
We don't have a backup now?
But they did re-sign. They did sign Hoyer to the practice squad. They signed somebody else who we couldn't remember the name of.
I know what his name is
as well. So, so we do have other quarterbacks besides Mac Jones on the roster.
Yeah, we actually did.
But for a minute, it was like, okay, who's going to be our backup quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, who's going to be the quarterback? Who's going to be the backup? Because we may need one, but we may not. But
it's okay. We could just throw like a receiver in there or something. Jacoby Myers. I mean, didn't he play quarterback at one point? I don't know.
I think he threw the ball once or twice, so I guess he could
Jacoby Myers will be our quarterback.
I don't think it's somebody who wants to do. His name is Garrett Gilbert.
Garrett Gilbert, yeah.
Garrett Gilbert and Malcolm Perry.
Oh, yeah, from Navy, Army.
Yeah, he was a Navy. He was a Navy. He was a Navy quarterback, but he's also running back. But he's also a quarterback too. So he's actually on the team as a wide receiver. He's 5'10". He's 5'10".
He could step in if
but still, I mean, he
could step in there.
I saw some tape of him today on YouTube. Guys, you got to YouTube this guy.
He played in a very interesting offensive system in Navy because they play they have a very sort of unique offensive set that they run from watching it. It's a lot.
Yes, they do. It's very strange. It's very, very strange. Stuff. It's very crazy, and people cannot seem to get it.
Guessing, yeah.
Yeah, it does. And Garrett Gilbert's from Dallas.
Yeah.
He was a backup. He is 30 years old, but he's 6'4", 240. This guy's absolutely ginormous. This guy's gigantic. So he was practicing with them today. So he may be the backup.
I do have to say I don't know how to feel when you make 30 sound like it's so old that in NFL player circles.
I know. I meant 30 for football. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it in a negative way. I just meant it as I just meant it as in a pro sport kind of situation as opposed to
I know.
Yeah, 30 is the new 21, so it's okay.
I'm a year older than 30, so what does that make me? I'm a bag of bones.
Old. It makes you an old man.
Bag of bones at this point.
It makes you old, man. It makes you just old. You're just old. What can I say?
I hear you.
But anyway, all these new guys that are coming in, I'm just really excited. What can Kendrick Bourne do? I mean, Kendrick Bourne came from San Francisco. I didn't even know he was in San Francisco.
Aguilar.
Yeah, definitely. All these new. You know what I want to see? I want to see Mills. I want to see Judon. I want to see Judon attack quarterback. That's what I want to see because this guy, that's what he does.
This could be great.
I'm so excited to see him and to see what he can do.
100% agree with you. 100%.
And I want to see. I think is he the one that had the green hair? Because I think I want to see what color hair he has.
I don't know.
I think he's the one with the green hair. He had
your
green
guess
hair.
is mine on that one. But no, very excited for this upcoming season. Obviously, we will be talking a lot more about the Pats as we sort of get into the regular season and actually see what happens when the rubber hits the road and Mac Jones is actually playing in meaningful NFL games. It's going to be very exciting to watch. So can't wait for, like I said, a week from Sunday cannot come soon enough as far as I'm concerned. So we are going to begin to transition here into the end portion of our episode, which we always enjoy, which is our final thoughts for episode number 93. And Doug, I want to kick it over to you first. No pun intended. I know we just talked about football. For your final thought, or in your case, a lot of times I know final thoughts for episode 93. So what have you got for us this week?
Yeah, so I always have two.
Always
so
do. Yeah.
I believe I have two. Actually, I have three, but the third one is like really simple. So the first one is that I just got notification just a little while ago, but I got a notification yesterday also. This is very much sports related. NHL and the NBA are actually outlining new COVID protocols. They're trying to figure out how to deal with unvaccinated players.
Yeah.
Now, the NHL, there's a report out right now. Blake Schuster has it out on Bleacher Report, so check it out. It says NHL outlines protocols for vaccinated, unvaccinated players and new guidelines. It says there's going to be fines for unvaccinated players and suspensions. So NHL is taking it really, really seriously. I think the NBA is going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, it is what it is. These teams, these sports, NHL, the NBA, the MLB, the Red Sox just had, a little mini COVID outbreak. Which of course, Robbie was texting me a few days ago. It's coming at the wrong time. All this stuff. So, by the way, today, just want to tell you, I listened to the beginning of the Red Sox game. 0 positive for Red Sox today. So we're good.
Go.
We're good.
By the way, the Red Sox also currently winning 4-0.
Thank you.
Tampa,
Thank you for that update. Of course,
very,
you needed to have that.
Yeah.
That update, and of course you have the shirt on there.
Yeah, it's good old Fenway.
Yep, good old Fenway. The Sitco sign, Fenway
logo.
shirt.
Yep, absolutely.
Very important. So it should be interesting to see what the NHL and the NBA do with these protocols and how they're going to work around some of the players that believe that vaccinations that they shouldn't get vaccinated. So it should be interesting to see what happens with that. The second thing is a little bit of sad news this week. I believe it was yesterday. For those of you who have ever watched any 70s programming, 70s and 80s programming, a guy named Ed Asner just passed away.
Yep.
Probably best known for the Mary Tyler Moore Show in the 70s, which I grew up watching. That's not dating myself. You never know. I could be, 6 or 7, 8 years old. So it's one of those things where, he was great. He was also best known for, he was also joked around when they did Wide World of Sports a long time ago, which is great. Anytime you get a chance to watch Wild World of Sports, there's so many different sporting events that go on there. They used to do one with the Stars. And it was very, very cool to see Ed Asner, who was at the time a very big man trying to paddle a canoe. It was just very funny. Very, very funny. So if you get out there and go into YouTube, check Ed Asner out. Just a great actor. And of course, the Sports Blitz sends condolences to his family.
Absolutely.
And the third thing is that I want to send a shout out to my daughter, our daughter, my wife and I, our daughter, who I'm not going to say where.
I'm glad you clarified that it was you and your wife and not our, as in, that would have been weird.
No, I was just saying I could say my daughter, but I like to. It's not just mine; it's my wife too.
I was just giving her a hard time.
Who's in the other room?
Continue. Go ahead.
So yes, I'm not going to say where she's going, but she just had her first week and a half or so in college. She just started classes, and I want to do a shout out to her. Play hard, study hard, and just. We're very proud and we're looking forward to really great things.
Absolutely.
So
You
that's
go,
my
Alana.
That's my final thoughts for this evening. But on the Sports Blitz. But I wanted to throw it right over to you, Robbie, for your final thoughts
Yes.
for this episode.
Yeah, so my final thought is actually going to be baseball related, which, knowing me, is not a shocker usually. But it's not Red Sox related, though. That probably is a shocker to all of you out there. I actually want to speak it is about an East Coast team, and it actually has to do with the good old New York Mets, who were embroiled in a little controversy of their own within the last week. For those of you who didn't hear, a few of the players decided that it would be a good idea to. They've been struggling as a team, and their fans, the New York fan base, like the Boston fan base, can be very difficult,
rough
towards the team, a little rough when the team is not doing well and not playing up to expectations.
Come to Boston, boys. See what happens.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Like New York is just like here in that regard.
Please.
But so the fans were kind of getting on the players a little bit, booing them a little bit, giving them a hard time for not playing as well. And the players decided that would be a good idea to boo the fans as sort of an inside joke. So what they would do is when they would score a run and get a big hit, you know how teams have like their own sort of celebrations and stuff like that they do. Well, the Mets decided that they would do the good old thumbs down, and of course it was not just enough to do it as sort of an inside joke, but good old oh god, why am I blanking on his name? Oh, Javi Baez. Sorry, I had a momentary brain cramp. Javier Baez. I am old, 30, I know, really. But yeah, Javi Baez decided it would be a good idea to actually blab during a post-game press conference and literally let everybody in the whole sports world in on the fact that that's what they were doing, and it caused.
He has kids sitting on his lap too.
Yeah, and
his kid doesn't understand because he's very little, but still,
it caused a big uproar. It was just really dumb of the Mets players to do it in the first place. But if you're going to do it, don't broadcast it to the entire world to hear, because that's just going to make it so much better, for sure. So apparently, the GM came out and like basically bashed his players for doing it. I guess they held a big meeting. Just a lot of really tough. You think things are tough with the Red Sox right now? The New York Mets may be a good old dumpster fire at this point, where they've got their GM, I think, or assistant GM, just got arrested for a DUI. They got this going on. They're fading.
He actually just got suspended for that too. He's
not surprised at all. But like, what a mess of an organization that is. Like I said, you think the Red Sox, having some issues, with this little COVID outbreak and things like that, but like the Mets are just, you just shake your head and it just boggles your mind. Especially, like I said, hearing, Javi Baez really coming out and saying, we were doing this to sort of get back at the fans. Like, it's just the stupidest thing ever. Like, it was so dumb. I told Doug to Google it and let me know his thoughts. I think your thoughts were
because I didn't know what happened, because Robert was like, "Oh, something happened with the Mets. Did you see it?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see it."
That's why I told you to Google it, because I didn't think
you did. And what was the first word I wrote you back on the text? I went, like, "Wow."
Yeah, wow. And then a bunch of insults with exclamation points and all that stuff.
Right, and I said you're old and all kinds of stuff.
Directed at the Mets, obviously, but no, it just
directed at the Mets. Yes,
just basically one word to sum it all up was stupid. It was really stupid for the Mets to do that in the first place, and even stupider for them to actually like broadcast that that's what they were doing, and they deserve all the backlash that they get.
Well, he actually apologized. I think he apologized today. Javi Baez apologized today, but I don't know if that's going to make much of a difference. But
no, Did you notice they gave him a nice little ovation when he came to bat the first game after the up
Yeah.
there at good old
Yeah.
City Field.
He just doesn't understand. He doesn't understand. I mean, you come to Boston. Hey, listen, we're true hard fans. If you're doing well, if your team's doing well,
We're gonna let you know about it. If you're not doing well, we're also gonna let you know about
go,
it.
guys.
Yeah, I agree.
We're also gonna let you know if you suck.
Yeah,
We're gonna let you know big
100%.
time, and that's
100%.
just what our fans do. And you just have to deal with it and try to get better.
Yeah,
That's all. And yeah, oh, there's too much pressure. Oh, well, you know what? Then don't play professional sports if it's too much pressure for you. You know, go and play, wiffle ball. I mean, what else? I mean,
yeah. No, you're right.
That's what pro sports are. I mean, there's
That's
a
right.
lot of pressure there. You just have to know how to deal with it.
You're absolutely right. I mean,
Hey, you know what? Think about it positively. At least the fans are reacting. If you suck, sometimes the fans don't even go to the games. At least they're reacting and going to the games.
Or if you're Tampa Bay in first place by 9 games, people still don't go to your games. But
that's true. And by the way, the AA stadium of the Yankees, they're not going to be able to play there for a while. It's flooded.
Yeah.
It's flooded. I saw the picture tonight. It's totally flooded.
New York and New Jersey took definitely a beating.
Totally flooded. I mean, I'm talking like flooded, like you
see
the water up to the.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can only imagine.
Pretty bad there. So anyway,
but, they're just really dumb, is what it comes down to for sure. So, so that's gonna wrap up episode number 93 for us. Want to give a quick shout out, as we always do, to sort of the other two in the trio of podcasts that we have here. Obviously, we are the Sports Blitz, but we also have Marvel at the Movies with Doug and Kyle, which they've been putting out some really good content lately. A lot of good stuff going on there, and I know that they've got a lot more good stuff to come, which is always exciting to see. And like I said, you should definitely be checking them out. And also On a Couch Talking Sports with Kyle and I, which we've done some really cool episodes, and we actually just did one where we recapped our mini golf outing that Doug and I have discussed with myself, Doug, Craig, and Kyle from a couple weeks back. Really a great time had by all there, so definitely check that episode out. So again, lots going on in the sort of On a Couch, Sports Blitz, Marvel at the Movies universe here. So very
I wanted to mention
what's to come. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to mention one last thing. My brother is actually doing a new podcast. I believe he has one or two out already. I believe it's one. If you go to Josh Z, you will find if you go to Josh Z on YouTube, you will go and find his podcast. He's with a whole bunch of friends, I think 3 or 4 friends, and he's actually doing unbelievable. He's doing Gordon Ramsay. They are going from episode to episode of Gordon Ramsay's show. And they are either they're talking about it, they're talking about the food, they're like tearing it apart. They're saying the good things, the bad things. They got a little bit of commentary here and there. So it's really phenomenal. It's great. Just check it out. Just happen to throw it out there for you guys.
A lot of good stuff going on in the podcast worlds these days.
Absolutely.
And we're, as always, very excited to be a part of it. So, like I said, that's going to wrap up episode number 93 of the Sports Blitz. Again, want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Zyman Organizing. As always, link in the description. Like and subscribe to our page. Again, we are right here on YouTube. We're also audio versions are always available on SoundCloud. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're all over the place. We're making moves. Like I said, please subscribe, ring the bell, and share this with all your friends, because we always appreciate the views when we can get them. So
yeah, we want the comments too, Robbie. Just remember, we want the comments. We want to find out what people think of us, good or bad, because that's what makes us better. And we also want to make sure that subscribe, hit the bell, And we also want to know in the comments, is there anything you want us to talk about? Because we'll be willing to talk about anything you want in the sports blitz. So,
Absolutely.
just give us a comment here and there. I think Jeff Bascio said he was going to comment on the next one that we do. So expected there to be at least one comment on there from Jeff from New York. So we're very, very excited. And that's it. Yeah.
Perfect. Always love the comments, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's going to do it for us until episode number 94. As always, that's Doug. I'm kind of pointing up to the top of my screen here. There you go. I'm Robbie, and this is the Sports Blitz. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Catch you later.